Good morning, I made it. This is one of squeaky chairs, sorry. This is one of those days that I'm sliding into home base. I'm here. I come sliding in. Can you see me? This a cloud of dust behind me. Some days I don't move fast enough. Today's one of those days. So let me know when you get here. I'm going to do a little bit of sharing, see if I can find myself and get this party started. I see somebody. Pop in here, Annie. I believe that's you. It's nice to see you. Let me share out real quick and then I'll be all yours again, okay? How's it going today? Hi, Wendy. Thank you for popping. Look at me. I got things going on every which direction. It's one of those days. So, I usually start out this way and it gets better. So hang with me. Thank you for sharing. Wendy, you're a huge help. Let me see what I can do here. I'm trying to work on 2 different devices. Can you tell? That's what I'm usually doing at the beginning. And there's so much going on because I did not open up this computer until just like 3 minutes ago. So everything's popping up at me at one time. So here, let me see what I can do. Let me at least get it onto my page and then I'll be with you guys completely. I think I did it. Let's see if we can find a group. I don't want a watch party. Who does that? Who does that watch party? Anyway, it won't work right for me, so people just got to find me. come this way, come find me. By now people should know where I am, right? So, hi guys. I'm with you. Completely with you. Hi Scarlett. Thank you for popping in. Getting myself centered and grounded. It's been a busy morning. I had a hard time getting myself up and moving today. There's so much. The planet is so full of stuff, and I've got stuff going on in my world too. And so, yeah, if you could share it to my wall. I think I just shared it to my wall, but I might not have. You could look and see. You can share it wherever you'd like. I usually share it out to oh, here we go. That's better. That's what I was looking for. To a couple of my groups too, but it's going to make me do it one group at a time. Wendy, I'm going to hire you. Very handy to have around. That one. So what's going on, guys? What's going on? You know what part of my problem is I'm sharing as the wrong person. The world is kind of in chaos today. It feels to me like there's more chaos. I usually can wake up and have a pretty good peace, and I've had to really work with myself today to kind of find some peace because it feels like we're so affected by this collective energy, this unrest that's going on here in our country for sure with all of the riots and things that are happening. So I'm affected by that. We all are going to be, because we're so sensitive and our sensitivities are growing. We're getting more and more, we're just lighting up. And as we expand, as we grow, as we become more of our true selves, we're going to be, it'll probably be shared 6 times to my page now. Okay, let's just leave it alone. Anyway, I don't like to be distracted by sharing. Charles, hi. Thank you for joining us. Prashetta, thank you for popping in. It's so nice to see you guys. Rainbow Journey Group. Very cool. I've never heard of the Rainbow Journey Group. I'm going to have to check that one out. Thank you for sharing to that. So, it's all about finding peace this morning. I labeled this today Butterfly Kisses. I have an estranged relationship with my father, and I don't want to go deeply into it because it's family business, but I haven't seen him in a very long time, and he's very sick right now. He's very possibly not going to be with us too much longer, and so I have to work with myself. Now I'm in a phase of working with myself, and I think that we do. This is part of my inner child work, and that's where it needs to go today. When we're doing inner child work, we have had relationships in our lives that are Christine, thank you for popping in. Isabel, so nice to see you. I'm glad to see new faces. So I wonder how many of you can relate to that. These relationships in our lives that were meant to be really important, especially our parents. We want to look to them and be able to find trust and be able to feel safe and secure and all these things. And then so oftentimes those people came into our lives not necessarily to teach us those lessons. And I think that's important to remember, that my father came into my life to teach me, just like everyone else that's come in. And so this morning I felt, as I was getting ready, it's kind of what slowed me down. The song, I feel like Spirit often connects with me, and I'm sure with many of us through songs. And so a song will start playing in my head and I can't get it out. And usually it's Steve that's doing that. He's like, he'll place a song. He's done it to me and he's done it to many of my friends. The song will start going through their head and they're like, would you please take this song? Because if you won't take this song, it won't stop going through my head. I know Terry had that happen just about a month ago. And when I finally claimed the song and listened to it, I was like, yep, it was definitely Steve. So this morning, because I'm going through all this daddy-daughter stuff and feeling like I have some things to resolve, the song that kept playing in my head was Butterfly Kisses. And I don't know how many of you have heard that. I hardly ever hear the song. It's a very sweet song. It's a song that I've never really felt like I can relate to, because I didn't really have that relationship with my father. And then as I'm sitting there listening to the song, it just it teared me up, first off. Secondly, and it was funny because it kept going in my head and I kept saying, why is that song in my head? Stop going through my head. And I finally said, all right, I'm going to listen to it. And as soon as I did, I was like, well, okay, I get it. I really do. It's that message of the daddy-daughter. It's the message of there is something there. There was times that he was there with me, that I laughed and that I enjoyed, that we enjoyed each other's company. There was times when my father and I had some special times. And so the reminder is to not forget those times, to not be so busy in life. I say often that, some people, he had the ability to really hurt, it cut me because I was so sensitive. And so oftentimes in our relationships, we'll kind of shut people off, and it's okay. It's okay to know, to set your limits and to say, okay, this person is really hurting me. And I can't move forward because of it. I need to step away from their energy. It's okay to step away from that negative energy sometimes. Some people can't. Hi, Alyssa. Some people can't work out of their humanity. Once you've learned the lesson that they came here to teach you, it's okay for you to step away to protect yourself if you have to. And yet when we come to these places where that person who we are estranged from maybe is at end of life, what do we do then? So that's where I am right now. So this morning the butterfly kisses came to me and it was like it caught right in my throat. I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah. I've got some things to take care of. I can't just not do anything. I need to try to reach out to him. I need to let him know that I can step over and beyond, because he's a soul, because he's a loving soul, that we're all just love. And so deeply inside of him, underneath all those layers of hurt, is this beautiful soul. And I want him to know that I love him and that I can step above and that I don't need to stay in that lower space of pain and hurt. And so I feel like that's an important thing for us to bring up today, because we sit here every day and we work on inner child work. And when we're working on inner child work, we're trying to heal. Hold on, I'm leaving somebody out. We need to turn. I just got the reminder. Hello, Batman. So as we're gathering together today, maybe we can remember, maybe we can find a little bit of healing in this, because the truth is, it is all of these things that we carry around. As long as I'm holding on to lower vibrational energy that is related to my relationship with anyone, I'm still being held down by it. And it's part of this whole inner child thing that we're doing. It's getting back into those relationships. Sometimes it's putting new memories on the old. We've talked about that before, where when you're working with your inner child, with mine, for a long time, she only remembered the painful stuff. She remembered being little and being stuck at the top of the stairs while everyone downstairs was having fun. Or she remembered, painful experiences from childhood relating to her relationships with her parents or siblings or whatever. And so it was important for me to get in there and help her to open up to, wait, there was good things that happened too. And I remember the first time, oh, this was beautiful. I don't think I've ever talked about this before. there was a time when I remembered Sundays as only being scary when I was little. My mother would take all of us kids to church, and we would have a pretty peaceful time there, and then we would come home, and there would be unrest in our house, and things would get scary, and I would run. I would go and hide someplace, and for a long time, that's all that I remembered. And then, as I was working with that inner child, this memory came up of being at church with her before I came back home. Can you remember that? And I was small still. I was maybe 4 or 5. I was little, and my uncle was the minister of the church, so it was a very safe place for us to go, and it felt like home. And I remember coming down from Sunday school, and down in the basement area was the place where they would have coffee and conversation, and it smelled like donuts, and it was sweet. I can still remember that sense of that space. I don't know why I'm going to cry, but I probably am. And I remember being that little girl and going down those stairs to where my mother was, and I saw her, and I went over to her, and she picked me up, and she just started rocking me. And it was important for me to get to that place in my healing, to remember that Sunday in particular, to remember the safety of being held by her. I remember her running her fingers through my hair, and I remember the love. I remember that sense of just feeling like I was okay, like there was some security in my world. And so that's what we're doing when we start working with inner child, is we're releasing those memories. We're bringing up painful stuff, but we're also bringing up the beautiful stuff. It wasn't all bad. It wasn't all bad. There's good stuff mixed in there. Sometimes we have to look a little harder for it, but we'll find it. And so it's so useful in repairing those relationships that we've had, those physical relationships, because through doing that, through finding, sometimes you actually have to recreate the memories. Sometimes they're so horrific or so difficult that you can't necessarily, that inner child person inside of you can't necessarily find a real memory. I can remember the day when I had been working with my inner child so hard, and she, instead of being stuck at the top of the stairs, she heard music downstairs, and she went down, and she saw her parents. This is not a real memory. This is what she created. So this is remember, your little child is full of imagination. She created a memory for me. She went down those stairs, and she walked into the kitchen where her parents were, and her parents were singing, and they were dancing, and they were having a good time. And she wasn't stuck there anymore. She let herself come down, and she joined them. She joined in the fun. She came back into the light. And man, when I got to that place, I knew I was making real progress. It was like, yes, this little child, she's not stuck in those painful memories anymore. Because the truth is that we're all souls that are stuck in a human body, and we've had human experiences, and yet that most beautiful part of ourselves, that part of us, the higher self part that we were talking about, that we've been working with, that part has never been damaged, has never gone through a painful experience. That is the part of us that is the God spark that only knows love. And if we can heal deeply enough, we get to that place where we contact that part of us that reminds us that this is all a stage. Everything that we're in right now is all a stage. We're playing out our movies. Each of us, our movies are kind of intertwining. It's all a cosmic dance. And sometimes that dance can be difficult. Sometimes we get our toes stepped on. Sometimes it swings us too fast, and we get all dizzy and confused. And yet we're all just in this dance together. My father has just been doing a cosmic dance too. He was injured as a child too. He's still an inner child too. And the remembrance for me this morning is just to find love. Can you find love for those parts too? I've written about that often. Those parts of you that you don't necessarily think are beautiful or beneficial or whatever, those parts of your life, those people in your life, can you love those parts too? Those parts that maybe you didn't feel like they were so supportive, maybe they hurt you. They were useful. Those people that hurt me the most, those actors and actresses that came into my life to play the part that would hurt me, they didn't want to do that. I can guarantee you that we are all pure love. The basis of us, the very root of each one of us is pure love. So as we're sitting there with our quill and our parchment and we're writing out the story of us before we come back here, we have asked those souls, will you come and will you play this part for me? I'm going to need to open up. I'm going to need to have painful experiences in this life, because if I don't have painful experiences, I'm not going to be able to reach out and empathize with other people who are going through the same thing. I need this. I asked Steve to come into my life. I knew he was only going to stay with me for a short time. He taught me so much about love, and he taught me even more when he passed. And so I asked him for that. He's made it clear to me that was my plan. That wasn't his. Hey, sister, I don't want to do that. I don't want to hurt you that way. You chose this. And that hurt him too. It was difficult. And so I want you to understand that just spend time on that today. That as we're working on these inner child issues, that there are relationships that we can mend and that we can heal at a soul level, even if we can't do it physically. I felt as if this morning, this is where it's all coming from. That song that was playing in my head was not from Steve today. It was from my father. I've worked with him at a soul level. I've asked the angels, I've asked my guides, will you help me to work with him at a soul level? And I believe he sent me that song, that he loves me. I'm his little girl. And there's a phrase in it, and I can't remember. I wish I could exactly. Butterfly kisses. Spread your wings and fly. I heard that. It was like, I got it, Dad. I got it. I got it. I did okay, Dad. I'm okay. I'm okay. You can spread your wings and fly. It's okay if you've got to go now. You've done your job. Can you feel that? For people that are in your life, can you feel those messages of love? Can you go in and say, hey, you know what? Wow, it's been difficult and it was really painful, but yet I can see your soul and I know you're pure gold. You are a pure being of light buried inside of all those layers of pain and suffering that you've experienced on this earth plane, and I love you. I don't know where all that came from, but it came through strongly today. Let me see what you guys got to say. I love to share what you have too. I see you're creating behind you. Am I creating? I have all kinds of stuff behind me right now. Before I had just the green screen. I was using that last night for the show. Isabel, hi. Christina, so glad you're here. Good morning. Prashetta, hello. Let's see. Many songs, yes. I really do believe our angels and guides will, and Steve is most definitely one of my guides in this. When he passed, he worked his way into that again. He's like, I'm not leaving you. I'm sticking around. So he's one of my guides too. So when I get these songs, they're sharing. They're like, hey, you need this right now. The music box has lovely words. You are correct. They're a little bit creepy, Wendy. We'll post those later on Angelic River Family for you guys who don't know what we're talking about. I haven't shared that music box. So I keep bringing it up in these shows. I'll show it to you. And I'll even play the music so you can see what we're talking about, because I don't want you to be left out on that. It's a very creepy little music box. It's very old. Here, maybe. Hold on a second. Can you see that right there? That funny looking yellow thing that's on the table? That's the music box we're talking about. It's very old. It needs a new top on it. It spins around, and those little doors on it open up, and there's a very creepy little guy inside that's sitting there blowing a little, and there's gargoyle feet on the bottom of it. And the other night when I turned it upside down, I realized it had a very strong attachment, who then paid me a visit, and we had to do a little crossing over. But she's gone now, so it's okay. You can look at her. She's safe. The music box is safe now. She needed some help crossing over is all, so she attached herself. Here we go. We weren't going to get into that today, Wendy, but I will share that story on Angelic River Family, so you know. Yes, and I am of him. I think it's important for you to remember that, Wendy. It's important for me to remember this. What I'm trying to say is, I was this little girl. He couldn't be that perfect daddy to me, but he tried. He didn't have a good example to go by himself. We're all just, broken little children running around the planet, I think. And oftentimes when we are having difficulty with someone, or we're sitting around, like, oh, when this happened and that happened, that's let go of that, because the truth is that we've all been injured. I love the movie. I'm going to bring it up again. I love the movie The Shack, because it's all about that. It's all about, no judgment. God's not judging the source, whoever you believe in, whatever creator you believe. There's no judgment on the other side. Nobody's being judged. We're all created. We come into this world and we're just perfect little people, and then we go through so much pain and suffering, and sometimes it's too much, and people, they can't get out of it. They can't step above it. They're baby souls. They've been injured and they just stay in that pain. And he's spent his whole life in that pain. So, but I love him. And I can go to him if I can find a way. I can communicate with him. We're not allowed in the nursing home at this point, so it makes it difficult. But I'm going to find a way to let him know that I love him, that I can step above, that I can see his soul. When you started talking about your dad, a strong healing frequency for forgiveness came through for you, me, and all of us. Excellent, Christina. Excellent. That's what it's all about, isn't it? We are expanding and growing in such leaps and bounds, and we can't, when we hold on to those difficult things, those things that we just want to say, but you hurt me. And it's hard for us to let go of that hurt. We can't move forward, or we get stuck. We put up those blocks inside of us, and it doesn't help. Our energy won't flow easily because we're just stuck in that space. So it's me reminding myself and everyone else to get unstuck, to forgive, fully forgive, really forgive. Hi, Julie Kiss. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for the hugs, Wendy. Happy Friday to you, Lynn. Thank you for popping in. Angie Taylor, hello. Jennifer, thank you for popping in. EWL has hit so close to home. I thought I had healed when I've only kept myself occupied, and it's time to truly heal. Hard work ahead. Thank you. You're so welcome. We're all in this together, Jennifer. It's just the name of the game right now. We're being called out. Our angels and guides, they are not letting us sit still in these difficult emotions anymore. It's like, okay, if you're going to move forward, you can stay in that 3D and you can live all that emotion and that difficult stuff if you so choose. If you're ready to step up, that's the most beautiful part. Did you see the joy come through me? The most beautiful part is as we do this work, we keep on expanding. Our wings are growing. We are really, really turning into new creatures. And so it's so important right now to keep on working at this. It is not easy. I will never say it's easy, and I'm not gonna like step through the wildflower patch and say all you got to do is just dance. And playing is fun. Playing is needed. Having fun is so necessary because it raises your vibration. Laughing, you don't want to spend all your time there. But as this stuff comes up, you do need to face it. Because once you face it, you can't, what I keep saying is, if you don't feel it, you can't heal it. If you just stuff it down again, it's just going to stay there. It's going to be that squeaky wheel. It's going to be that little child inside of you that says, oh, me, pay attention to me. It will turn into illness. It will turn into depression. It will just fester in there. And like an infection, it'll continue to grow. And so that's the reminder that we keep receiving, and it keeps coming through me is there something that you need to release? Is there something that you need to let go of after you feel it? You don't have to stay in it. That's the most beautiful part of this, is you can rise above. You can get to a place where you can release, but you have to feel it first. You can't release it before you heal it. So it's not so difficult. I think that's what we think. It's going to be so difficult that we don't want to face it. And so let me give it to you the way it's given to me. It comes up. Some are more difficult, more painful than others. It's going to come up. You're going to be on that roller coaster ride, and sometimes it's going to pull you right down into that lower area of the roller coaster ride. Go ahead and stay there as long as you need to. Feel it. Really feel it. Really feel it. Don't just shake it off. Just feel it. If there's something there that needs to be done, if you need to do some forgiveness, if you need to talk to someone, Reach out to someone, whatever it takes for you to release, because it's not as important what's happening inside of them. You can't always fix their stuff. You can't fix their stuff. They're responsible for that. But what is it going to do for you? Is talking to that person, is forgiving that person, is reaching out in love to that person, is that going to help your soul to let go? Are you going to feel better afterwards? Is it going to lift off of you? And then once you've done that work, then don't keep holding on to it. That's the point where you let go. I wish everyone could read Anchor Light in the way that it was meant to be read, in the way that when I wrote it, when Paul and I worked together on it, and when it was written, I was coming out of the greatest, hugest grief imaginable. I was on this roller coaster ride of emotion. And so some of those are written in a place of, oh, she's coming back up the other side. And some of them are written in the depths. And I have more. I was in my computer. I have more pieces that I've written that were, we didn't put it all in there. And sometimes I think I need to go ahead and pull all those other ones out and revisit them too, because they were written from very painful places. And I think sometimes we thought, well, maybe that's too dark. Maybe that's too difficult. Maybe we don't want to pull anybody down into that. And yet when you're down into that and you're reading about it in a place of, well, that person went through that stuff and they came back out the other side, so maybe I can too. So that just was given to me. I'm going to go ahead and go through some of those things and see if I can start releasing them. Maybe put out another book that's going to bring some more of that out, because they were written and they were channeled, and that channeled energy needs to be given out freely. Here you go. This was given to me. This is the healing that came through, and as I was writing it, that healing energy went into those words, and as that healing energy went into those words, it was creating something that other people could read, and they could feel that healing energy too. So I'll work on that project. Christine gets songs all the time. Yeah, Wendy, the most difficult times teach us. We don't stay there. We heal. We have to do the work, and then we get to say, okay, now I'm ready to let it go. And those things, I think that we forget that step. We think that we've got to do all this hard work, and then we hold on to it. Remember that once you've done that hard work, you may not have been able to fix that relationship on an earthly manner, whatever you want to call it, on the earth plane. You may never be able to fix those relationships with other people, because they are part of that too, and they may not want to or be ready for that yet. But you can do the healing work yourself, in yourself, and then don't hold it anymore. Then let it go. So if we've gone to that person and we've said, I love you, I forgive you, and I did have that closure with my father a few years ago, so I do feel that is okay in me. There's a peacefulness in that I did have communication with him. And then it's like I just did. Yeah, I can let that go. I'm letting that go. That piece of that is, yes, I did that. I can lift it up and let Archangel Michael, or whoever you call on, just say, hey, yeah, I'm done with this. You can take it. It doesn't have to hold me down anymore. Remember to let it go. Charles went on a magic carpet ride yesterday. Did you? Cool. Was it a song? Did that song take us? I know that song. Scarlet. Good. I see your comments after. Oh, okay. I see your comments afterwards. Jennifer, I have several songs that I'll hear when certain loved ones are watching over me. Blessed be. Yeah. They love to send certain songs. It's a beautiful way of communicating with you, with each one of us. And I think that when you get that song in your head, you need to pay attention. It may be a crazy song, and you're like, why do I keep hearing that? All right, I'm going to go listen to it. And for me, it's like, like Steve liked classic rock and stuff, and I wasn't really into classic rock unless it's soft rock. I'm a big softie. Hi, Linda. Sorry, I'm dry. I'm all about the mush in movies and songs, everything. So after he passed, I would find some songs, and I'm like, oh, gosh, that song is not one of my favorite songs, and yet I listened to it anyway, because always there was a little piece, and when you get to that part, that phrase that they want you to hear, something in the heart just says, aha, I got it. intuition speaks and says, I got your message. I hear it loud and clear. So remember, let's see, Angie, I remember that movie. Yeah. Oh, The Shack. I'm trying to remember what I was talking about. The Shack is an amazing movie. If you haven't seen it yet, really, I highly recommend it. It's difficult to watch. It's a little bit painful to watch. And yet, man, you will light up all over the place. It's an incredible, sweet, really powerful movie. No, nobody wants a Charlie in a box. You're having fun, Charles. It's funny. Let's see. Can I FaceTime him? Yes, I'm gonna. That's what my project is today, to see. Actually, I offered to my siblings last night a Zoom room, so that if we can find somebody in the hospital that can help him on his end, then possibly, because they're saying he's failing more quickly because he doesn't have any family around, and he doesn't have any family around because nobody can get to him because he's in a nursing home. So it's one of those COVID things that's really affecting people, and there's not much that we can do about it other than to try to do a video chat. So thank you for that idea. Lynn, I'm sorry I'm heading to the beach. So please enjoy that beach. Walk that dog, enjoy that sand. I'm glad that you stopped in. Angie, we've got this. It's an amazing time. I keep reminding myself all the time, truly okay no matter what, and my courage is growing more and more. Exactly. We just have to keep on saying it's okay. This is hard work. It's painful. It's difficult. This earth plane is really difficult. And sometimes I just want to be out on the beach with Lynn walking a dog. I often go out in the woods. I'm often out in nature, and it's beautiful to be able to do that. And yet still there is work to be done, isn't there? And so, but the more we work at this, the better we feel, the more time we get to spend out in nature, the more. So it's like a big round circle, isn't it? The more I spend time in nature, the better I feel, the more I'm able to do the work. And the more I do the work, the more time I get to spend out in nature. It's a big revolving circle. I sure run to those trees when I need help, though. And Angie, you remind me when you say this to keep talking to yourself. Keep telling that little self, that well, I call small self, your ego, your inner child, whatever you want to call, whatever you're calling on. You got to keep bringing comfort in. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. No matter what, we're always okay. We are always okay. Steve gave that to me, like he died of cancer. I'm like, you weren't okay. And he's like, yes, I am. I'm okay. I'm perfect. I'm like, yes, I stepped out of my body and I'm perfectly okay. We're always okay no matter what. What is the worst thing that's going to happen? I used to say that. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Oh, I'm going to die. Okay. But I'm only going to die in the physical. It's okay. It's all right. We're always okay. There's nothing that we can't conquer. There's no mountain that's too high. We can get through it all. And we're the most beautiful thing is we're working together as we're doing this. And the more we're going through this, the bigger our tribes seem to get. We're just being blessed with this beautiful energy of love, and we're so supported from the other side. And we're so supported on the earth too. It's like we're being given a tribe, a crew on the ship is what I called it in the book, and I often call it my crew. Let's see. Linda, so nice to see you. I'm glad you made it. Julie, why do I even try? Just put your glasses on, little girl. Very wise words. Lynn, thank you. I'm trying to stay positive in these trying times and dealing with family issues. Yeah. This family stuff is really tough, isn't it? Like, we've got other relationships that can be really hard, but those deep family things, that goes all the way back to the root of us, to the very beginning of birth. And sometimes in childbirth itself, coming into the world was painful. Like, well, we just started out in pain. We definitely set ourselves up for something. So even if you had the perfect idyllic childhood, you suffered just coming into the world, and you've had illness, and you've had just who knows what. And so it's difficult being here. This is a very difficult planet. Give yourself a pat on the back for doing so well. You guys, all of you that come to shows like this, you have made it through so much. And the thing is that our angels are literally patting us on the back and saying, job well done. It doesn't matter how much you want to judge yourself. It doesn't matter how much you try to put somebody else ahead of you and say, well, they're better at this than I am. They're saying, no, don't do that. You're doing a perfect job. You're doing a beautiful job. Every step that you take, every time you send love out, every time you cry for those people, every time you sit on the floor and you renew yourself, or you go outside into the trees, or whatever you're doing enough. You're doing everything that you came here to do. You're here, you're breathing, you're sharing your light. That's what you came to do. Anchor Light book is amazing. It is, I think the little Anchor Light book is just now coming into fruition. I had a clairaudient moment not long ago, and it was bring this to fruition. We knew when that book came out that it was not really in its time frame yet, and now it's like, okay, please read it. And it's not because I'm not trying to make money. I lost a ton of money on that enterprise, and it's okay because I love that little book. I love it because it's filled with this beautiful energy of healing and growth. And so it's a wake-up call, and it's one that's meant to be given out, and it's meant to be reread over and over again, because it will touch you a different way every time you read it, because it's truly channeled energy. And it's the energy of the book that changes people. They hold it in their hands. The first one I held was like, wow, it's like a newborn baby. This little baby is going to grow and sprout wings, and it is growing and sprouting wings now. So I'm thankful for that. Wendy, now that I know you better, I'll read Anchor Light again, and we'll read it. It will read differently. It will. It'll read differently just because you know you better. I have more to write. I have more. My gosh, my computer is full of books. I've already written them. I got tons of books. I just got to find the platform to get them out there. You can just go on. I have some if you really want one. I do have a few copies yet that I'll sign if you let me know your, Angie, I'm talking to you. If you let me know your information, I can get you one. Linda, Feel It, Heal It. Feshnu, I think I'm Feshni. I think I'm saying that name right. You got a very beautiful name. I'm probably making a mess of it. But thank you for joining us. Angie Taylor, get it? Yes, and that was what I was also going to say. It's still on Amazon, so you can go right to Amazon and get it delivered very quickly and easily. And it's probably really cheap. They really discounted the price, so just jump in there. I really recommend, I've not pushed real hard on the electronic version. I've kind of let go of the electronic version because I feel like this is a book that needs to be held in your hands kind of thing. So I really would encourage you to get a hold of it and to write in it, to use it for, there's blank pages. I left those in there on purpose so that you could have places where you could write notes, so that you could personalize it, you can underline things, whatever. Some books you need to hold in your hands. Anchor Light is one that you need to actually hold. So I recommend that you get the hard copy. And it's a very fast, very easy read, just like Wendy's going off on me. Thank you, Wendy. Wendy, let's see, I was going to check there. Thank you, hon. She's a good conversation between the two of you. You did that, Julie, work with your sister, love her, release all the bad feelings. Yeah, siblings can be difficult, and we just don't always see eye to eye, and that's okay. We can love each other. We can learn to love each other even though we're different. It's okay. Isabel, I work long hours, and when I meditate, most times I fall asleep. How can I be more? Okay, well, sometimes, Isabel, sometimes it is okay, because your higher self is going to get the message. Your subconscious is going to get the message. Sometimes I will do a sleep meditation if I'm super tired. I put my earbuds in and I'll put on a meditation. I fall asleep and I wake up. I'm like, wow. We get a lot of growth when we're asleep. That's where the closest to source energy when we're sleeping anyway, because we've let go. The conscious mind is just off doing its playground time, and then the subconscious or that inner part of you is able to receive messages even if your conscious mind has no idea what's going on. So it's okay to sleep, but if you don't want to fall asleep, when you're meditating, people think that they've got to meditate for an hour or whatever, or 30 minutes. When you first start to meditate, find yourself a space, sit up. Don't lay down, sit up, otherwise you will fall asleep. Just start breathing. It's the most important thing is the breathing. I always had to put on music. When I first started meditating, I would lock myself in the bathroom, sit on the bathroom floor, because I knew my kids wouldn't. I have 6 kids. I knew that they wouldn't find me there, or they wouldn't bother me there. So I have another book called My Bathroom Floor where I did a whole lot of healing. But I would light candles. I would, whatever kind of way that would make me comfortable. And if I laid down, I would fall asleep just like you. So I sat up. And I started out slow. I started out with a very short meditation. Don't try, when you're first learning to meditate, you don't necessarily want to try to meditate for a super long time, because meditation is very relaxing. And of course you want to go to sleep. So if you want to stay awake and you want to experience what happens when you're awake, then choose a place. Go to the same place every day. You might have a certain chair that you sit up straight in. Use that same chair every day. Go to that same place every day. This is like training the ego. When you go to that place, when you get yourself into a certain position, you teach that ego, okay, ego, step aside now. I'm going to spend some time in higher self land. I'm going into my heart space. I'm going to center. I'm going to ground. And the ego, if you're tired, you go ahead and take a nap. You can tell it to go to the corner for a while. And then really just spend time with your higher self. We're going to do that again here in just a few minutes. I don't know. Oh, it is getting late. Let's do a little higher self meditation again, so you can introduce yourself for a few minutes if you haven't yet to that higher self space. Okay, Good Ship Lollipop. I love that song. We're doing Shirley Temple today, Charles. Yeah. Your birth was difficult, Isabel. Is that what you're saying? Since birth until shortly, your whole life. Yeah. I'm sorry for that. Let's work on that a little bit. Yes, one thing I was told, instead of looking at all you haven't got to accomplish, remember all you have accomplished and come through it. Exactly, Angie. Perfect. Amazing how that helps you. It's just a shift. It's just changing. Like you change that lens over. We're so used to just looking at the negative side of things, so we look at it and we're like, oh, look at blah, blah, blah. If you stop saying it in that way and you change the verbiage, I got to go to work. I get to go to work. I get to go out and earn money. I got to wash the dishes. I get to wash these dishes. I've got dirty dishes because I got food in the house. And I'm so thankful that I got to dirty these dishes with some good food. Do you feel the difference? It's just a shift, and you have to practice that because the ego loves to pull you into that negativity. So you shift it. Every little thing that comes through your head, you go, oh, wait, stop. I have to do that lately too. There's this little voice in my head that's trying to pull me down, trying to get me into a darker space to feel some insecurity is where it's coming from. And so I keep talking nice to that part of me. No, you got to shine your light. No, you're okay. You go out and be you. Be you. You don't got to be like anybody else. You get to do this your own way. Be you. And I keep on talking to that little part of me. And as I do, she settles back down. She's okay. Work on that. Self-talk is so important. Isabel, I'd love to heal myself so I feel free and help others because I'm a giving person. Yeah, and that just takes a little bit of self-work. You sit on that floor and you keep meditating. You're going to get it. You're already there. Just keep on doing what you're doing. Wendy, you're going to bring my copy for me to sign. You need a signed copy? I can work that out. Okay, let me know, Christina. Exactly. Well, ebook format has very little overhead. It also has I have a Kindle, I have an iPad, I have a lot of books on there, and dang, if I just set them down and I forget that they're even there. There's something about, I know we don't need to keep cutting down trees, but there's something about the feel and the smell of paper that feels so incredible to me, and I'm really kind of a book snob in that way. Isabel, I'm glad that you're here with us. Okay. Wendy, yeah, it is healing. We sometimes sleeping through meditation is very healing. So there's nothing wrong with it. But if you want both, you just have to sit up and force yourself to pay attention. Okay, here we go. Let's spend a little bit of time in meditation. We've got about 15 minutes exactly. That's perfect. Let's go ahead and get ourselves centered. And I want to show you, Isabel, get yourself comfortable. I'm going to sit in the same chair. This is my chair. This is my meditation place. And I'm putting my feet on the ground because I want to feel as if I'm rooted to the ground. I'm going to take off my glasses. Do the things that, like, you want to make yourself comfortable, but just not too comfortable if you don't want to fall asleep. So oftentimes I'll have a certain candle burning, or I'll burn a little incense or play a little music. I'm really, I I center perfectly with music. So there's some meditations. YouTube is loaded full of really fantastic meditations. And I'll tell you a trick too is maybe start with guided meditations. There's some really good ones. If you ever want links, you can message me directly and I'll send you some of the ones that really helped me. But the truth of it is I went into YouTube, I'd get myself in the position of meditating, and then I'd go into YouTube and I'd put in my earbuds because I don't want to be bothered by anybody. And then I'd start to listen to one, and if it didn't feel right to me, I'd turn it off and I'd go to the next one until I found the one where my heart just went, yeah, that's what I need. And then I would fall into it. So I really, if you treat it like a gift to yourself and really work with yourself until you find what works. That's because I can't tell you what your intuition is calling out for. You know that. That's you. That's the deepest part of you. You know what you need. You just have to learn how to listen. All right. Isn't Val Love music perfect? There's lots and lots of beautiful meditations that are absolutely free. So just go find the one that works for you. So go ahead and get yourself all settled in. You can visualize. We often visualize our little children coming into the circle like it's a big daycare, and we're creating a circle because we want those little children to feel safe. And so we're going to create that today, is that safe space for them. So wherever you want to visualize them, whether they're taking a nap, or they're resting and they have their little blankies, their stuffed animals, and they're resting, it's okay. Visualize that part of you getting all cozy and comfy right now. And then once you visualize that part, getting cozy and comfy, feeling perfectly at home, I would like you to realize your own worth, your own strength, that spark that's within you, that is your God self, that is perfect and has never been damaged and is loaded full of wisdom. That's the part of you that goes beyond the conscious self. You find her or him when you spend time in deep meditation. They're right there. And I'd like you to visualize yourself as that light being. And breathe in right now. There's energy flowing from the heart space. Breathe it deeply. Go further back in your chest. It goes deeper than your heart. Pull that energy into that deep cave that's back behind your heart. Excellent, excellent. Now we're all kind of centered and grounded here together. We are protected. We've asked Archangel Michael. All of our angels and guides are here to protect us and care for us. And so you can feel safe in allowing each one of us, I invite your Holy Spirit, higher self, to be here with me in this healing space. Let's gather together. And if you have ancestors, if you have loved ones, as long as they're here for the highest of good, we allow them to come in and join us also. All the grandmothers like to come in with us. I feel them. They have very heavy energy in the throat chakra. There's some pain there to be released. Big lump in my throat, some grief. We're breathing love on that. We're allowing that healing to go into your body, into your egoic self. So as you're sitting here, your body is just sitting there on the earthly plane, and your Holy Spirit, higher self, is, we're all just gathered in this big, beautiful circle. We're like out in space. There's this beautiful, I see stars and comets flying, and we're just there enjoying one another's company. We're all gathered, like our arms are stretched out, and we're joining hands across the circle. Can you see that? And down below, those little children are resting. That part of us that is very sweet and innocent is resting and comforted. And we're sending love down. Love that crosses the planet, that crosses over to our loved ones, to those that may be ill, may be hurting, maybe can't step out of their own ego long enough to see their own greatness. So we're sharing our own beautiful energy, that wisdom. Can you feel yourself, that creator part of you, It's not held down by anything. I can feel you, and I'll tell you what, you're incredible. So hold that energy of greatness, that energy of perfection that you are. This beautiful shining light. You're made of gold, and you're shining out in every direction. There's light beams shooting out of you. I'd like you to just feel yourself there for a few minutes. Just feel what you are, what you truly are. There's beautiful energy. So while we're sitting here, remember to breathe deeply, to allow that energy to fill your heart space, to fill your lungs with healing. There's creative energy, and we're allowing that energy to flow through the human body, through your crown chakra, to clear you out, to clear out anything that's holding you back, anything, any old energy, anything that's stagnant that no longer serves you. You can release it now, so just let it go. Let it flow right out your fingertips. Big shift off the heart space. That was a good release. There's a lot of clearing going on in the third eye. If you have some healing going on in the head space, if you're having headaches or anything, I feel some clearing going on there in the sinuses. Breathe it in. You can let that go. You don't need to feel that illness anymore. You can let it go. Keep breathing. That's beautiful energy. I'm just going to hold it for you. There's some integration here. There's some newness, some new energy flowing, new codes being downloaded to you, new wisdom. You're getting the answers you seek. So spend time after this, spend some time over the next couple of days just allowing those answers to fill in for those questions that you've had for so long. When you get deeply into that heart space, when you allow yourself to go into the space of your Holy Spirit higher self, there is no greater wisdom. You've got all the answers. You already know the answers. You don't need to ask anybody else. You just need to be still. Be still with your own self. Oftentimes I tell people to talk to yourself. It's so important. When you get out by yourself and you let your ego start asking questions, and pretty soon your higher self starts answering. And then you've really got it going on. We are surrounded by love at this right now. There's just love surrounding us. We're being bathed in it. It's pouring down. It's running right through every chakra. It's clearing away each one, helping to remove blocks, helping to get those chakras spinning freely and openly so that you can feel what it is to be centered and grounded. I feel it moving down through the heart and down into the solar plexus area. That's a place where you can release those childhood memories, those things that when people made you think that you were less than perfect, or they covered up your greatness. You know, oftentimes as light workers, we carry this beautiful light, and those who don't understand will try to cover it, will try to block you, either out of protection or out of just misunderstanding. They just didn't understand what you are. So you're being reminded of what you are. You are a light worker. You came here, you volunteered for this. You're powerful, and it's time to wake up, and it's time to come out and shine. So let your light shine today. Don't be trying to cover it up anymore. No more covering it up. Let it go. Let it shine. There's a huge, huge, big burst of energy coming right up through right now. It's like it went all the way down, and it's waking up. It's coming all the way back up through. I feel it really strongly in the throat chakra. So you've got expansion going there. If you feel like you need a yawn, or if you're still holding your voice back, it's time to let it out. It's time to speak. It's time to blow your horn. Don't be afraid of sharing that beautiful instrument. In whatever way you feel is your way of sharing, whether it's through art or music or speaking or whatever you do, whatever it is. Tap into this energy that you're feeling right now. When you're writing, when you're working, whatever you're doing, you can stop right where you are and tap into this energy of source that comes straight through you. You're channeling it because you are a piece of God yourself. And so that energy is right there, always waiting for you to experience it. It's like this pool that lives within you. At any time, wherever you are, you can step into that pool. It's your choice. Okay, I'm feeling out the energy. It's just so beautiful. We're going to be out of time in a few minutes. It's okay. Let's just keep going. I want you to experience this clearing in its fullness. Breathe. Some of you are really holding on to stuff in the solar plexus area. So if you can breathe really big, breathe in this healing energy that's flowing right now and breathe it right into your belly as big as you can. Just expand it right out. Let it just clear away anything, all the cobwebs and all the clutter. Much better. There was some releasing. Thank you for letting go. Thank you for releasing that heavy energy. We are asking right now Archangel Michael to come in and to sever and release any cords or attachments. It's kind of taking my breath away. So anything that's in the solar plexus area that is not of our highest good, anyone that's in this gathering right now, we would like those cords severed and released, any earthbound spirits to be crossed over into the light. Releasing all of that energy that does not belong to us, needs to be taken away from us and then transmuted into the light. We can release those souls. We can release that energy, that old karma, those soul contracts that no longer need to be fulfilled. We're in a new energy now. We don't need to learn those lessons anymore. We can let them go. So release, just let go. Much better. Lighter. I still feel some energy in the heart. For those of you who are still feeling heavy or sad or down, I'm going to let you get on with your day, but I want you to feel as if, know that this healing continues, that your guides, that the angels, that source energy is always with you, wrapping you up in love, protecting you. And right now I want you to envision your Holy Spirit higher self climbing back into that heart space. Bring those little children with you that are resting. Breathe them back in. And then we ask that Archangel Michael would come along and wrap each one of us in a light of protection and love today, that whatever we're doing, wherever we're going, that we feel protected and safe and whole and complete and perfect. You are so perfect, so appreciated, so loved. And you feel that? Excellent, excellent. There was some beautiful clearing that went on here. I'm so glad that you guys joined me today, that you felt that you're releasing. Continue to let go today. I feel energy in my hands. Rub those hands together. Rub your hands together. Can you feel your own beautiful energy? Pull them apart. What is that? Do you feel that? That's you. You have so much power inside of you. All of this stuff that's weighing you down, you have the ability to wipe it all away, to clean it all up. It's your ability. So just continue to expand it. Keep working with it. Keep feeling it. Feel that today. Play with those. Play with that electricity within you. Feel it. Rub your hands. Spread it out. Oh, how does it feel? I want you to make a ball real quick, and I want you to throw it out to the world. That energy is gonna just go to wherever it's needed. So as you're rubbing your hands, make it bigger, 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 bigger. And when you're ready, just let it go. It's gone. It's gone. You guys are amazing. You're amazing light workers, and I'm so blessed that you join me here every day. You're so welcome. Please take good care of yourselves. I got to get off of here. I'm just out of time right now. I'm so grateful to each one of you for joining me. Thank you so much, and I will see you tomorrow, same time, 9:30. Today's what? Friday. So tomorrow, Saturday, we'll be here for the Saturday morning cartoons. I love you guys. Bye.